So we have talked about AI, artificial intelligence, chat, GPT, the whole thing. And the more you read on this, the more you begin to realize it's pretty amazing, number one, and pretty scary at the same time. So I come across a column in the Wall Street Journal by our next guest. We spoke earlier this afternoon. And this person decided that she would delve deep into AI and see how it could help her and how, well, do some of the stuff she ordinarily would have to do, how much of it could do, and ultimately to see if it could fool anyone. So this is how our conversation began. Check this out.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on your show.
Okay. Which sounded...
What do you think?
Yeah, that sounded real, except not a whole lot of...
I'll say, hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, if that's
Similar?
all AI can do, we have no reason to be concerned. I feel much better just having heard that. You actually spent time and prepared a demoed audio, a demoed video, and you managed to fool people. So tell everybody exactly what you did and how much time, by the way, you invested in this.
Yeah, well, quite a bit of time. But I will say I was more prepared for pranking the people in my family, some colleagues, than I was for pranking you guys. So I don't know if you should take that as a compliment or as an insult.
Well, we'll take it as a compliment.
I set out here to do one main thing, and that was to look at what everyone is talking about in AI video and audio in the synthetic voice and video world, in the sense that you can create AI clones of yourself in video and in voice. And I worked with two different companies here on this. The first was a company called Synthesia. They do video avatars, AI video avatars. And I had spent quite a bit of time making this avatar with this company. I went to a studio. I shot quite a bit of video with them. I recorded even more audio with them, 2 hours in the studio recording. They take that data, they put it through their neural networks, through their machine learning, and that's what they create. That is what they use to create the video clone. Then I was not as impressed with their audio on that, with the voice, and I had heard of another company called 11 Labs that was making it even easier, more accessible. You go to their site, you upload some previous MP3s or audio clips of you, and it generates a voice. And that was what you just heard here, which I was playing around with the settings, but you can make that sound a lot like you with very little data.
And apparently very little investment too, right? At least at the outset?
Yeah, with 11 Labs, you have to actually pay a $5 per month subscription fee to create your own voice, but that's it.
I mean, that's totally reasonable,
Synthesia
$5.
is more expensive.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
what happened?
You have to work with the company. It's at least $1,000 to create the video avatar. So there's more roadblocks to creating the video avatar with Synthesia.
Okay. And then I think what gets scary is what happened next. So, you make the investment, you clone yourself, but then she didn't just fool your family. She fooled institutions like the bank.
That's right. So with the video was not as compelling as I talked about in the piece and showed in the video. It seems a little robotic in places. You can see there's not natural movements, but the voice can be very convincing, not only to when I called my family and had a few things prepared and they sort of started realizing, okay, it sounds like you, but it doesn't actually breathe and you're not saying things in natural conversation. So they were kind of tipped off to it. But it worked very well when calling my bank because my bank uses voice biometrics as a way to confirm it's you. They use their technology where it asks you to say your name and address, and then it will put you through, if it confirms it's your voice, it will put you through straight to a representative. It won't ask additional verification or security questions. So what I did is I called the bank. When it asked for my name and address, I clicked play on my voice clone. And boom, it recognized it, and I got straight to a representative. No extra questions asked.
Wow, and that's supposed to protect exactly that from happening.
Well, it's supposed to protect that from happening, but it's really meant to be a convenience feature for users. So you don't have to you don't have to go pull out your credit card and read the last 4 digits on the card, or you don't have to give any extra information. It's meant to be a convenience feature from the bank. And what the bank told me was, well, okay, even if you had gotten past this point, which I did, you would need to provide extra information to make changes on your account. If I needed to transfer money or if I needed to up my credit limit, et cetera, it would have asked for more information.
Okay.
But it still worked. I mean, to the point is it did fool that voice biometric step, which many companies could be using and could be using for more secure information.
I want to know one other thing you did from what I read in the column was you try to see how this would work in meetings. So you do a Zoom meeting, whatever else, and if you have a video avatar and you have AI, how did that play out?
Not so well, not so well. Almost as well as the beginning of the show. Again, at first, people sort of thought, okay, there she is, she's nodding along, but it didn't have as natural movements. And so people started wondering, like, why is she just never any different? Specifically, people were saying her posture seems very good, which is a nice commentary on my real life posture. They also said my makeup looked very good because the day I created my avatar, I got my makeup professionally done. So another nice comment on what real me looks like. But really, when I had the avatar speak, I had preloaded. I had ChatGPT I said, what are the most common phrases in a meeting? I got all of those. I exported them. I had the video ready. They sort of said, that's not how you talk. You're not cracking jokes. You're not naturally responding. So it was not a success, that one. But it was fun. It was very fun.
So what does this tell you going forward? Because I was joking with Aaron before we began that, like, part of me loves this idea of being able to clone myself so that I can get out of doing some of the stuff that I need to do, like particularly school stuff, I would say, for my daughter. But then on the other hand, it's kind of terrifying that it's advancing as quickly as it is.
I think I wanted this to be a marker in time, especially around the video. I think it's going to get rapidly better, and I think it will be, I don't want to say fun, it may be terrifying to look back on this piece in a few years and say, oh, look at this deep fake, it was so bad. We are few years in the future, I don't want to predict, and it looks more lifelike, there's more human gestures, there's ways to automate this sort of thing. On the voice, though, this was the most telling thing right now, is how far along these voice clones and these types of technologies are, and how accessible. We talked about that before. The fact that you can go to 11 Labs, anyone can go and make this. There are good uses and there are bad, like any technology, right? Technology is neutral. And so just the accessibility of this type of tool can be great, but also there is the bad side of this is, as I said in the piece, somebody using my voice. I've got tons of my voice out there. You guys have tons of your voice out there. Somebody making a clone, calling family, pretending to be you, asking for information, calling your bank. It's not hard to imagine the bad uses.
Well, okay, well, let me ask you then, how easy is it to do that? You mentioned someone, there's plenty of audio or video of someone out there that someone else could take and say is them. Do the companies that do this actually have safeguards built in? Are they even effective?
11 Labs talked about two specific safeguards. One is the fact, as I mentioned, you have to pay the $5. So people who are using this, they know who you are. They can keep records and have some record of who this person was who created this clone. So if something were to go more viral, or somebody's cloning the voice of our elected officials or candidates, and that all goes viral, they have a sense of, okay, this was created with our tool by this person. The other thing they're working on, and many of these AI companies are looking at, are detection tools that will help us be able to decide or figure out, was this real or was this AI? And so they are looking at tools, and text generators are also looking at tools, and the image generators are also looking at tools of ways for us to put the media into this tool, be able to say, okay, this is with X% confidence AI, or this is X% confidence human.
Does this scare you at all personally?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just thinking as a technology columnist, as a journalist rock star, like our tech guy calls you. Does it make you worried about how you'll be able to do your own job going forward in discerning what is real and what isn't?
Absolutely. And that's why I think some of these tools and the partnerships, Adobe specifically is leading a partnership of lots of media and tech companies at making it more recognizable, transparent to all of us on the internet. What is the origin of the media? Where did it come from? So that is one thing that I think we're going to all have to just be more cognizant of as we look at things on the internet. Was this real? Was it AI generated? How was this image made? How was this video made? How was this audio made? I am scared, especially as someone, as you mentioned in my job. Yes, I plan to use these tools in my job, and I think anyone who is in a job right now is going to have to wonder and reckon with the idea of, how am I going to use this? How is this going to better me? How is this going to better my career? Because I've got to get on this train. But I have, as you guys have out there, tons of audio. I have spent years doing videos on YouTube, on thewallstreetjournal.com, various places, and there's a lot of video of me and a lot of audio of me, and that is the training data that's needed. So it isn't anyone listening to your show right now could go make this of me. I'm not telling something, that I can't hide that. That's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Scary indeed, but so interesting and eye-opening at the same time. Hey, Joanna, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you, guys.
You and your
that
clone.
Was really me.
Okay, I was going to say.
How do we know?
Joanna Stern at the Wall Street Journal. Thanks, Joanna.
Thanks, guys.
I love that when you read the column, by the way, and she goes into more in depth how she sort of did the video part, which is in front of a green screen. I mean, she spent some time and effort doing this, but at the end of the day, the fact that you could pull this stuff off, and she fooled originally her bank, this is going to be really scary stuff. We've already been warned that.